That's a good one. That's a good one. Oh, God, it's a toad, son. It's a toad, dude.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day.
What's going on, everyone?
Welcome back. What's up? You can't see him. Pete's offline right now, but he's online, but he's offline, but he's online. You just can't see his face. But you can hear his wonderful voice. Pete, hope you're doing well this afternoon. Know you've been slammed with work and all that good stuff.
Look at that.
Hey, there he is.
Well, there's something.
Are we getting a tour of the are we getting a tour here?
Something like that.
Oh. All right. What's up, David Fuchs and friends? Good evening up in the Jersey land of mud puddles. Before we get started tonight, let's talk about those that support us the most by talking about One Cast Fishing. Head on over to onecastfishing.com and use the code TheOneCast, all one word, at checkout. Get your hands on all those snagless jigs, weedless neds, soft plastics, long neck hooks, and everything else. I just did a video earlier. Check out those Nighthawks. It's going to be Nighthawk season soon. While you're online, head on over to CarolinaWatersNC.com. Use the code TheOneCast, all one word, at checkout, and get all that UPF gear that Carolina Waters has to offer. And also, while you're online, use that link that we always provide you and get your hands on all the different floating frames, lifestyle frames, and different lenses that Hobie Eyewear has to offer. You're going to save like 20% by using that link. And trust me, you're going to want those sunglasses because my face is burnt right now from Florida. And then when you're done there, head on over to your app store or Play Store, download the Deep Dive app. Make sure you get that year-long subscription. It's going to help you guys break down bodies of water and understand all the different conditions that are going on, to include tournament patterns. It's going to help you put more fish in the boat. Finally, after this cold is over, I'd say move to Central North Carolina. And in order to do that, you need to hit up a great real estate agent. And the best in the business is Terry Carpenter with Howard Perry Walson and Caldwell Banker. You can reach him at carpentert@hpw.com. Terry's a bass fisherman himself. He's going to get you that garage you need to store that beautiful bass boat and give the rest of the house to mama. All right. Fishing Friday Live.
That was pretty good, Trey.
You like that?
Not bad.
I'm telling you what, Mercer, I'm coming for your job, bro. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. You know, Bass has a new thing going on right now. It's there's Sims behind the tanks scene or something like that. So they're interviewing anglers as they come up to the tanks before they even get on stage and stuff like that.
They still have the same guy doing that. It's the dude that has
the long blonde hair.
Yeah, I can't remember his podcast name.
I don't know. Oh, is it Stray
like
Cast? Stray Cast. Yeah. It's pretty cool, man. I like
that dude's super annoying, but it's a cool thing.
Well, I mean, everyone could probably say the same thing about us, but yeah, it's cool. Bass is doing some different things this year. We're gonna definitely talk about that. Gunnersville Elite Series stop number 1 is going on right now. What's up, Austin David? What do you say? Make me a jig with a braid hook. What's a braid hook? I don't know. David Fuchs says hello. Nick Kincaid, Hunter Fishing. Howdy, fellas. Just found y'all. Hey, glad you found us. Stick with us. We got a lot of great stuff to bring you. Pete, what were you going to say?
I just said, what's up, hunting, fishing, loving every day.
Hunting, fishing, loving every day.
910 local.
Yeah, that's local. Christine Fuchs, is that my favorite Nick? That's the only Nick. Yes, it is. The one and only Nick. So speaking of Nick, let's talk about some of the real quick before we jump into some bass fishing. Well, I guess this is bass fishing related, but let's jump into some of the things that are going on this year. Want you guys to all participate in. First and foremost, head on over to warriorfishing.org and check out the 6 major events that we have going on here in the Carolinas. And I say Carolinas because we do have an event this year down in South Carolina as well. So if you want to check that out, you want to be a boater and volunteer your time to take veterans fishing, head on over to warriorfishing.org. Also, head on over to Special Operations Bass Anglers. SOBA has a website?
TeamSOBA.org.
TeamSOBA.org. SOBA stands for Special Operations Bass Anglers, and they are taking registrations right now.
Yes.
For the November event at Lake Norman. It's going to be what is the date?
It is November 6th.
November 6th. So that's the Friday before Veterans Day. And
we'll be going out of Pinnacle this year.
Okay.
We were always going out of Queens, but well, it's a good thing. we ran out of parking spaces last year.
That is a good thing.
So Pinnacle has a lot more. So we'll be able to get more boats in there, more food.
Yep.
And Porta Johns.
Yes.
Definitely going to have some Porta Johns this year.
Yes. Yes. Our wonderful friends from Jersey came down. Ed String, David and Christine Fuchs. We had a bunch of people come up. Mike Johns came up from Georgia. Nick, all his crew, everybody that travels all the way for that Special Operations Bass Anglers event. We all appreciate your support. It's the annual Mark McCowan charity tournament. Do you have a fallen operator that it's?
Yeah, it's Staff Sergeant Brandon Eggleston.
Okay.
So he died April 26th of 16 during the operation and during Freedom.
Mm-hmm.
Him and a few others got hit with a IED.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we'll be representing this year. So he was actually really good friends with Mark.
Mm-hmm.
And Mark's aunt even made a reply that she remembers the day of Mark getting that call.
Yeah.
So it's pretty special to the McCowan family, and it's going to be a great tournament this year.
Yeah.
We do have a couple different things. So it's $100 per boat. That includes big fish. But we're going to go till 2:00 this year.
Okay.
Usually we've gone like 3:00, and by the time everybody eats, we hand out stuff. We do the raffles. We do the auctions. It gets late.
Sure.
So we backed it up to 2:00 this year. But we're looking forward to it. And we had 83 boats, I believe, that fished it last year. So we're hoping for more there. To register, direct message me.
Okay.
Don't worry, Trey. I already registered you.
I already did. I already
Already
registered myself.
What? You remembered for once?
I mean,
Wait, did you register me? Because I registered you last year.
Yeah, you're registered.
forgot.
You're registered.
You registered me?
I believe you're boat number 10. And Trey, you are boat numero uno.
Who's the boat number 2?
Boat number 2 would be the one and only
Mike
me now.
Mike
Johns.
Johns.
You need
So-
a partner, Troy?
We've
Although
got
I will tell you,
Trey
the
and I are
first
going to have to have a
person,
discussion.
the
about
first
this.
person to actually register were the Fuchs.
Yeah.
But they get number 7 because that's what they wanted.
Oh, lucky number 7.
Well, you can put Mike Johns at 10 and put me at 2.
Yeah. It doesn't matter if I'm
No,
boat
it
number
doesn't
0. I'm going to get passed by everybody, and that's okay by me. The only thing cool about being boat number 1 is I might be able to escape some of the massive boat waves from everyone running with a 250 on that lake.
Well, listen,
right?
the only thing that we ask is that you be on time
I'm always on time.
for
Yeah.
boat number 1.
That's
And I
awesome.
say that because, Aiden, if you're watching, I'm calling you out. He slept in last year
Oh, wow.
as boat number 1. He showed up at 8:30.
Oh, well.
So he's the last boat to
Last
blast
boat.
off.
That's basketball. Yeah,
That happens.
that's all right though.
You know what? Just fish around the ramp. You're going to be totally fine. That's
I didn't
probably what
realize
I'm gonna
Pinnacle
do
was
this
right
year.
there by Queens, too.
Yeah, right
Yeah.
down the
It's
road on
right,
the right hand
yeah.
side. So there's plenty of parking. We'll have the weigh-in trailer from MLF again. They're always great supporters of us, and very thankful that they'll not only bring the trailer out, but do all the setup and make sure all the scales and everything are right and
Yeah.
all that. So
It means a
That'd be
lot.
14
Go ahead.
seconds closer to the lower end of the lake if you want to run down there. And
He's not wrong there, but you know what? The other thing about that, and for where our house is, and we get the same house every year. Taking that right out of Pinnacle is going to be so much better
Instead of taking the left.
instead of taking that left. Yeah, I can get that traffic there gets pretty crazy. So, folks, if you're traveling in and you've never dealt with Charlotte style traffic and stuff, it can be a doozy. So be careful. I recommend getting one of those prop alerts for the back of your bass boat. That's a free plug for them. Goes around your prop, and it's a big fluorescent orange with some reflective tape on it. Just helps add a little bit more awareness to your boat because there are quite a bit of car accidents and stuff in that area. But it means a lot for all of us that you show up and support these events, and they're just straight fun is what they are. They're super fun. Yes, there's money involved, but that's not the point of it. Same thing as you see with the nonprofit events and stuff like that. Last year, Go ahead.
There's porta-johns because I won't have to poop in Trey's live wells this year.
I was wondering why I had 5 dead bass. No.
There's a little biological
There's a
warfare
floater in there.
going on.
You know what? Pete's not trying to sabotage me. He's trying to sabotage his dad.
Oh yeah.
It's some family stuff going on.
I know
here.
how he is around Doc, so I ain't got to sabotage nothing there. He
Dude,
sabotaged
yeah.
himself.
I'll tell you what, right now, the last couple years that I've fished with your dad, he has not had to go to the bathroom like in tournament day. And I wonder if he like fasts for like a week before tournament.
I hope he
We could
watches
tell.
either now or later.
We need
on.
like an after dark episode to discuss what that's like.
Oh, man.
after the
So,
Well,
and let me say this too. Yeah, I'm highly involved in SOBA, and you guys are highly involved in Take a Warrior fishing. It's great that we can help each other out
Mhm.
and support each other's organizations like
That's
that.
right.
You know, there's one organization in particular, I won't say the name, but they do not allow their staff, their pro team guys, to fish other nonprofit military tournaments.
wow.
And it's I don't understand that.
Yeah.
You
Man,
know,
like-
we should be helping one each other out and everything. So you know,
whole
just
rabbit hole
because you
into them.
support one, you go to one, that doesn't mean that, you know, that's the only one that you support. I highly suggest that you go out and support as many as you can. Really dig into what they're about. That way, you know. But you know, the Take a Warrior fishing and
Bobby
and,
Blaylock,
SOBA is
doing well, brother.
great. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pete, what were you going to say?
I
think
said
he was just
that's
welcoming
a whole.
Bobby on.
I was welcoming Bobby on first, like Bobby Blaylock. What's on, buddy? And just like that whole thing with the competition amongst nonprofits is just it's upsetting. But I mean, it does happen. So you go down a whole rabbit hole, do some research on places and organizations you're going to support. Make sure you're supporting ones that align with your goal set and what you're trying to accomplish. But that's a good segue into our April event ahead of the SOBA tournament in November. Mikey called him out in chat, so if you want to see it, go check out our chat. If you're around in April, man, come fish our Take a Warrior fishing event, April 18th,
19th?
19th. That's that
19th.
Sunday. That's
Sunday, right?
April 19th, Jordan Lake, going out of, I forget the name of that landing over
New
there.
Hope?
New Hope. That's it. We don't launch out of there.
man,
very
he is
often in
just
other
on it
tournaments.
tonight, isn't he?
And it has been a week.
18th.
Let me tell you, my brain is absolutely fried.
Your
But
beard
so
looks
this-
nice though.
I appreciate that. Yeah. So you can come fish with us if you're a boater. We'll assign you randomly with a warrior. We're gonna go out and have 8 hours of bass fishing fun, and it's gonna be a good time. We got some new rules. The biggest one being, and I'm gonna go ahead and announce it here because we had our alignment meeting the other night, and it's all a go. Is as a boater, you are now only gonna be able to contribute 2 fish to the 5 fish limit that is weighed in the tournament. We want to get back to the focus on what our mission is, and that's to get those warriors on the water and help them to experience what we do and what we love every day. Some of us every day if you're Trey and don't have a job. Others of us, it's a little bit more spread out than that, but it's really about the warrior and ensuring they have a good time. And and this isn't a fault to anybody, conditions and things dictate, but probably one of the biggest pieces of feedback we get every year is that the warriors, a lot of them wish they had more opportunities to catch fish. So we're going to highlight that again. And by doing that, letting the boater weigh 2, 3 need to come from the warrior. You've got to get your warrior in position if you want to compete. So exciting to see how that goes. We're growing. I want to hit 100 boats this year. I think we had 64 last year. We hit 70 something in our spring event or fall event, which is multi-species, but you can still come out and bass fish in them boats, people. So I'm hoping to hit 100 boats this year. I know Nick and them were right at 100, I think, last year at SOBA, which seeing the growth over there has been awesome, and seeing us be able to support all these organizations has been wonderful. So looking forward to that one. David Fuchs, that means I can finally catch a limit.
I don't know. Can you?
There ain't
still
no
gotta
bass in
catch
North Carolina.
You still got to catch 2 for your limit as the boater. So we'll have to see, David Fuchs.
But along with that, if I can, I know the tournaments are awesome. I fished the one actually with Ben last year. you don't have to wait for that tournament to take a vet out.
No,
You
don't.
know, they can contact you guys, and I guess you guys will set them up with with other vets throughout the year. So, if you got a day where you are, I think I'm gonna go fun fishing this day, man, let Dwayne and them guys know, and take a vet out. And
I put our website up there. If you go there, you can register as a boater. If you know you're going out a day and you have an empty seat and you want to get a warrior on the boat, we got a section there where you can sign up. We'll blast it out to all of our warriors, and we'll connect you with somebody to get out there on the water. So we're actually working on a really sweet app that should be coming very, very soon. We've been calling it like Fishing Tinder because it's sort of like that, where we'll be able to post up trips.
Smells like fish.
Yeah. Oh God, this took a turn. Anyway, we'll post up trips that boaters are putting in there, and the warriors will be able to go in there and sign up that way, and it'll directly connect the warrior and the boater together. It'll take some of the legwork out that we have trying to connect folks. We'll do the legwork, making sure these boaters are safe and have everything they need to get you out on the water safely. But it'll take us trying to track down and coordinate and be a go-between. So looking forward to when that comes out. It won't be too long. And that'll be a good time.
What's up, Tim? What's up, Mikey Nadeau? What do you say? Hey, boys, maybe I missed it. Any comments or memories on the current passing of Dion Hibden? Well, that's your neck of the woods, Ben. But yeah, I mean, it was definitely a sad day in bass fishing history. Dion was a legend of the sport for sure. I don't know. I never knew him personally, but I do know that, a lot of people reference Dion when he was around. He was an Ozarks hammer. He was a hammer in general. And it's always sad to see, one of the legends of the sport pass away. Ben's doing some research on him right now, but
Bassmaster Classic winner, won a couple FLW Cup events. Dude was a hammer and obviously a legendary family.
He wasn't young, but he wasn't old.
I think he's
58 years old.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he passed away January 12th, after what they said is a brief illness. So, yeah, Lake of the Ozarks won the Classic in '97 and FLW Championship in 2000. Man, one of 5 anglers to win both of those coveted titles. Everybody that follows the sport of bass fishing knows that FLW doesn't have the Forrest Wood Cup anymore. It's all Major League Fishing now with Red Crest, and I think the pro circuit has a championship, or maybe they don't. I'm not sure, but yeah, man, it's always sad to see the legends of the sport go. We were just talking about that earlier. Like bass fishing is it's its own culture, just like every sport out there. But it is one of the, you can't really compare, like people always compare bass fishing like golf or like NASCAR or something like that. But, bass fishing itself is like the culture of the good old boys, the OGs of the world, man. And it's sad to see when they go, and unfortunately there's a huge generation of them that are all along the same age, and hopefully they don't all die at one time. You know what I mean? So, but I'm glad you brought that up, man.
Yeah, I appreciate that. It's the folks we grew up watching are getting to that age where, you're going to lose some are finally hanging it up. I know this is the second time Ike's retired, but still this one from talking to folks in the know, I think this is a real one. He's got some pretty cool stuff planned. Kind of like KVD, bringing back City Limits Fishing, which I'm super pumped about. That was like my favorite show growing up, fishing in a lot of like the rivers around Pittsburgh and stuff, and a lot of little creeks in town catching bass. So that was a show I always enjoyed, focusing on his family and stuff. And there's going to be more coming, more of those people we grew up watching and kind of tried to mirror.
He had talked earlier, Ike did, about, he's done with the pro stuff, but he's still going to be fishing some. He really wants to get into more of the kayak fishing, which if you've seen his kayak, it's just a mini bass boat.
Yeah, it is. It's more expensive than my bass tracker. I can tell you that. You bring up something, you said pros, and I'm also glad you brought that up too, Pete. Like Iaconelli retiring, made that announcement before the first event here in Guntersville. We were having that conversation when I was down the Kissimmee chain, you know, guys talking about being pro anglers and stuff. And you got guys that say, you know, Bassmaster Opens guys or MLF pro circuit guys, they're not pro anglers. And I'm like, there's a difference between, like, I'm not a pro angler, right? There's a difference between being a professional angler and being the top level competitive angler, right? Professional angler is the umbrella. Anybody that does it for a living, doesn't matter at what level, is a professional angler. Even guys out there catching shiners and taking people shiner fishing on the Florida lakes, they're professional anglers. That's how they make their living and stuff. Top level competitor is different. Iaconelli's a top level competitor, so he's still he'll still be a professional angler. He's just stepping down from the top level competition.
You're right. Yeah, David. He said Vegas is fishing more now. That man, if that kid gets his dad's ability to catch him without the technology, and because he learned and he's good with that technology, you better watch out for that kid. Yeah. Because he is a Vegas the hammer, and he is a dang hammer, that young man.
Yeah.
But yeah, Trey, we've talked about it on the show quite a bit. I think the whole professional angler thing, and there's people need to make that distinction. Everybody thinks Elite Series and you know, Bass Pro Tour and that makes you a professional angler. But if you're making money fishing, a guide is a professional angler. You are angling for a living. Like, I don't know why there's such a debate and people get all butthurt about it, but but there's a difference, and I think we're seeing it, man, on Guntersville this week. Trey and I were talking on the phone earlier when I was venting about stuff going on at work.
I'm loving it.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, it just shows how good these guys are that they can go out when there's ice on Guntersville, which happens like once every 7 years, and they're still whacking 20+ pound bags and just staying on top of the fish, right? Like, without the technology, it's a different level when you get to that point, and they're getting to showcase it and hopefully stop some of the whining about how forward facing is ruining the sport. So I haven't got to watch any.
Did you guys see the little clip that Seth Fighter put out there? He was sitting in the restaurant. So he calls what's her name?
Lisa Talmadge.
Lisa calls Lisa and was like, hey, there's some couple inches of ice. Is it okay if I get out of my boat, drill a hole, and ice fish?
Yeah. He said, can I get out? Yeah. Can I get out and punch a hole and jig fish that way?
Yeah. he needs to bring those 2-ounce Florida weights, though.
Dude, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking that the whole time. Like, you know, let's dive into that right now. So we got Lake Guntersville, stop number 1 of the Elite Series going on. We'll talk about that. Then we can touch on some of the pro circuit after. But when they were practicing, the amount of funny videos that guys were posting. Awesome. Like, it was great. You had guys like throwing glide baits, skipping it along the ice and so on and so forth. But I was thinking to myself, like, a 3-ounce tungsten weight just punching through that ice. What about catching fish through the ice? Would not make some of the coolest content out there, man. Like, the fish got to be swimming around under there. Of course they are. But Guntersville, yeah, you're right, Pete. Like the conditions. I mean, and look, if you guys are local here, Kerr Lake, Falls Lake. I don't know so much about Jordan, but I know Falls, I know Kerr, and I know not so much Gaston. There's ice everywhere still.
Yeah.
Like, even as of today, I got a phone call and it's like, dude, I was driving over Kerr and there's ice.
And it's gonna be cold again
all over the place. Yeah, and the water is extremely low. Right. So making all that water susceptible to freezing and stuff like that. So it's amazing to see how like 38, 39 and 40 degree water temperatures guys are blasting them.
Hopefully.
Go ahead.
All this cold and ice, we get a massive shad kill in all of our lakes, because we could definitely use to drop the freaking population of them bad boys. I
haven't heard anything about that yet. I just don't think it's been quite that cold.
Well, it's about how rapidly it gets cold, not necessarily how cold it gets. So
yeah, that
I know they had a big one on Harris right when we got that first drop, when we were like 50s for weeks, and all of a sudden it was 12. I know they had one on Harris for a fact, because I was talking to some dudes that were out there on them crappie. There was a pretty good kill there. I don't know how quick the water temp and stuff dropped at Jordan, or if they had it. I haven't seen it at Jordan. I don't know if any of you guys have, but I've never seen a big shad kill on Jordan. I think it's bigger, and those shad can get deeper to the point where it doesn't really impact them like it does on Harris, just with Harris's smaller size. But
for the audience, though, Pete, while you're on that topic of shad kills, why is a shad kill such a good thing for bass anglers?
Well, it's good for the fishery and secondly for the anglers, but if just come down to one of our lakes and you'll understand if you don't have massive shad, because we will just get to the point where the shad are over. There's just too many shad. It's overpopulated. There's so much shad. There's so much food. There's so much bait that one, it's tougher on the angler, but two, it limits that competition, which drives fish, is good for fish. Competition's good. People think you want an abundance of fish and bait. You do to a point, but you don't want it to the point where they don't have to compete with other species.
That's right.
Because we went out to Harris when those big crappie were biting, and I've never seen so many shad in my life. For miles, it was a solid ball of shad, and everything is just doing whatever it wants.
There's probably so much shad that you could have got out of your boat and walked it
was unbelievable. I've never seen. I should have taken more videos. It was the most unbelievable thing I've ever seen in my life. Yeah. And this is Main Lake in 40 foot of water, and there is shad from bottom to 4 foot, and it is solid shad.
Yeah,
that's not good for a fishery. It's too much food. Your shad are competing. Your fish don't have to compete. You want some of that kill off, so those fish need to compete for that. And then for your own sake as an angler, the less natural bait you have to compete with, the easier those fish are to catch.
That's true.
So it's too full for that. But we need one. I think the last one was that I remember on Harris was 22, somewhere around there, because we fished a PBC and one fish won like $7,000.
No, that was like 2020, because that was
that far back.
Yeah,
right.
That
was the same week. That was I was pre-fishing. That's when I caught my PB out there.
Yeah, you're right.
So I think that was
on the lizard.
No, it was on the OG
football
jig.
Was it? Oh,
and Jeff said it. Ice is an insulator, so once it freezes,
like 25 foot.
So, and Pete talked about the shad dying off. You also need bass to die off. You need catfish to die off. You need
especially of the crappie to die off.
Yeah, you need crappie or big ones, right? So, people complain about Sharon Harris. Look, it is not the same fishery it used to be, but there's also an overabundance of 14 to 15-inch bass in there. There's a ton of them. And so we need catch them, keep them, cook them, donate them to a friend who likes them, whatever. But the reality is too much of anything can be bad, just like alcohol, right? So, just think about it from that perspective. But we definitely need a good shad kill. I don't know if they dealt with that at Gunnersville. I do know that they're dealing with the top 3 baits right now, and we can go over the top 10 as well. And it's really cool to see the rank structure right now, or the place. But Gunnersville, there's 3 prime baits that are going on right now. It's no secret that a lipless crankbait is like the juice, right? Number 2, it's no secret that a chatterbait or a bladed jig of some capacity is also a juice, right? So because you have a ton of vegetation in Gunnersville, you have hydrilla, you have eelgrass, you have other sorts of aquatic vegetation, but the 2 primary baits, hold my beer, Jeff said, the 2 primary baits are lipless crankbaits and bladed jigs of some capacity. And then third, there's a lot of guys throwing big pedal tail swim baits and stuff out there, like slow rolling them, like belly weighted through the grass and stuff like that. So I like how Bass is doing not only the Sims Behind the Tank scene interviews before weigh-in, but they're also live streaming, I think, 3 anglers on YouTube, while simultaneously on bassmaster.com you can watch them with their regular cameras on the boats as well. So I think this event they had Kyle Patrick, Chris Zaldane, and Logan Parks live streaming on YouTube pretty much the entire time. But yeah, man, it's so far for me watching it, it's been an OG, like shallow water out in the middle of the magical mile, like just grinding it out in the grass.
I know if it was me, I would have
Miracle Mile. I'm sorry.
Down. I'd had a lipless in my hand and I never would have put it down. It's time to shine. And that bait works all really well on Guntersville when it's not cold. But you give me
Right.
some cold water. I'm ready to go throw one.
I mean, it's just straight old school. They're probably out in practice, found some areas, scanning where's the bait at,
Mhm.
and it's just fan casting around
That's
all
what
those,
they're
all that grass right there.
And you know they've been talking that the school, they're not finding the schools with the big fish like they were. It's little pockets of those
No.
bigger fish. The guys getting on the big schools, it's mostly smaller fish, and I think you kind of see that in the weights we've seen. Like who was leading yesterday was Johnson had dropped 24 pounds, and he struggled a little bit today. Kyle obviously has figured something out, leading here, staying around 24
Go
pounds.
figure.
Amy staying pretty consistent. Yeah, go figure. Kyle Welcher's up at the top, right? Like still the hottest. Corey struggled. If you go down, where was he at? I think he dropped to 10th. But you can see some guys.
I'm trying to think.
struggle.
Like I think I picked Aaliyah in this just because I knew it was non-Fort Facing sonar, and I was thinking chatterbait or lipless. And
Yeah.
Some
he's
guys
down at 28.
struggled. Like John Cruz was in the 90s yesterday. He only had 4 for like 14, which 14 wasn't a terrible bag. If you look, but today I think he ended up 50 something, right? Just outside of the cut. But today he dropped 20 plus and it jumped him way up
Yeah,
to
58.
28. So he had 4 for 12 yesterday and jumped him up into just outside the cut. So you can make moves, but you got to find those pockets of those bigger fish, and the guys up at the top have found them more consistently. It's not typical Guntersville where they're sitting on a big school of fish and there's big ones mixed in, and you just kind of weed through. The guys have had to really locate. At least from the few interviews I've listened to, they've had to find those pockets of bigger fish.
And to be honest, I think the last few times of Guntersville, and all, like those big schools aren't there anymore. I mean, I remember hearing that last time.
Yeah.
You know, of course, they've been chasing around with Fort Facing sonar. We were talking before. Just look at the guys in the top 10 and who they are, what they like to do, and how long they've been around. Because I think there has been an effect.
There's definitely you can definitely see where for the most part experience and guys that
Knowledge of the lake,
like all sorts of stuff is really playing
Yep.
a huge role. If you look at the top 10, there's not a single rookie in that top 10. There's not a sophomore in that top 10 at all.
I don't think there's a third-year guy.
The closest person that's new on the Elite Series in the top 10 is Cooper Gallant, I believe.
It's his third year, right? Or is his fourth?
It might be his third or fourth year, but he's definitely the newest out of them. And then when you drop down into, going to the
Evans there, he's a rookie.
Yeah, so Nick Trim's a rookie. Evan Kung, he's a rookie. Caleb Hudson's a rookie. So it is kind of interesting, though. Ben was talking about it earlier. You're not really seeing last year's rookie class in there.
Or the one from 2 years ago.
So Paul Marks, Trey McKinney, 41 for 41st or 41st.
But I mean, he still got 19 and 16. So
yeah.
You know what I mean? They're still catching them.
Yeah, they're definitely catching them. It's interesting because last year event number 1, what was it? Toledo Bend? Was it Toledo Bend or Lake Fork last year?
Last year it was
it was somewhere in
Texas.
Texas.
In Florida last year.
Okeechobee.
Oh yeah, Okeechobee. Who won Okeechobee last year?
Palaniuk.
Okay. And then they moved to the St. John's River. That's right.
Yeah.
And that
Actually,
was won
St.
by
John's
Bill
was
Long.
the first tournament because Bill.
You're right.
That's right.
And then Palaniuk was the second tournament there.
It's just interesting, and of course the guys right now this is just after 2 days in the first tournament. I mean, they're also got way more experience and way more comfortable fishing that style and not being reliant.
Good old Brandon
on.
Card.
Yeah, and I think you're going to see tomorrow. I think you're going to see that whole leaderboard change, right? There's some guys that have found some pods, like Pete said, like Brian Schmidt. Watched him a lot on live today. He had a camera in the boat, and he caught
didn't
it.
make the top 50 though.
Well, oh yeah, I'm sorry.
I'll be honest. All the weights are close. Like even
No, Brian Schmidt is 11th. He made top 50. Schmitty, go to 11th place. So he found a really big group of fish, and he was catching them quite a bit.
And
he
was
might
way
be
upriver, wasn't he?
Yeah, he might be somebody.
Size, yeah.
He might be somebody to watch out for tomorrow, just because of his amount of experience and stuff like that. You know, Hank Cherry's another one that has a ton of experience on Guntersville. So he obviously did better today than he did yesterday. So I'd watch out for the guys that are moving on up slowly. But, you know, I don't know if those guys are really going to be able to burn fish out, because I think there's probably fish coming to them where they're fishing rather than leaving, unless those are the guys that are like way offshore. And if they are, they're probably just going to reposition their boat another 100 yards into the shoreline and stuff like that. Granted, I don't know what the weather looks like tomorrow, but it doesn't really matter because they're fishing in like 4 foot of water out in the middle of the lake and stuff. So really cool event, man.
And I think it's just going to get warmer for them. You know, that water temperature is going to come up, the fish are going to be a little more active.
Yeah.
You know? But the one thing that I thought, I didn't get to watch a whole lot today, but yesterday I watched quite a bit, and it was to see which anglers, like, they had like a really slow start.
Mm-hmm.
And then once the sun came up and warmed up the water a little bit, that's when they started really whacking them. But then you had some that caught all their fish really early.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just depends on what part of the lake they were in. You know, so tomorrow's going to be interesting to see, you know, who can catch those kicker fish that they need.
Yeah. And mental resiliency. Yes, Christine, we are doing Fishers of Men again this year, to answer that question, but it's cool to see like the way that the Open started off this year, at least Division 1, no forward facing sonar. The Elites this year, no forward facing sonar. You know, Major League Fishing, Pro Circuit, they're limited. And I'll kind of tell you how they're doing that too, for 3 hours a day. But it really is, it played a mental role for me, right? Like not being able to physically see the fish on a screen. Like there is, and I don't care who you are. Like if you've been using forward facing sonar over the last couple of years and you rely on it as not only to locate fish, but just use it to fish structure and different stuff offshore. Like it plays a role when you're not getting bit and you don't know why, because you're like, either the fish aren't there, I'm not throwing in the right spot, I'm throwing the wrong bait, like all these things. And so so, you know, people ask me, or, you know, we're apologizing and saying, I'm sorry for your trolling motor going out. And Pete talked about it, man, it was a blessing in disguise, because thank goodness for power poles or shallow water anchors, like being able to just settle down and just make the same cast or fan cast over and over, like those guys are doing on Guntersville. So you do have the potential of spinning out really, really bad.
Oh yeah. And I think the first tournament I ever cashed a check-in in my life, I didn't have a trolling motor, and it was on the river, and you had to just run up the river and kill the big motor and let the current take you, and you just had to fish.
Yep. Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that a lot of those guys were talking about today on live. I know Kyle Patrick was live streaming the last 2 days, and he only caught 3 fish yesterday. And you could kind of hear him like, come on, man, like, come on, like, what's going on here? You know, but, you know, this time of year down in Alabama, down in Florida, you're seeing it with the guys on the pro circuit. Man, you may go 6 hours without a bite. But then as soon as you locate some, or they move through your area, you can catch 2, 3, maybe even 5 fish fairly quickly. And that changes your entire day. Or you catch them really early and you have 5 for 8 pounds in your bag. And then all of a sudden, right at the end of the day, you catch a 5.5 or something bigger, and it changes the whole dynamic in the leaderboard. So,
well, and you've heard, you know, several of the elite guys, at least yesterday, they were saying, you know, I know the fish are here, I just got to figure out what they want to bite. You know, and with not saying all the younger guys, but with guys that have mainly focused on that forward facing sonar, you know, they didn't have to run through things to see, okay, throw a jig or throw a shaky head or throw, you know, a jerk bait or something like that. You know, they just been, well, maybe pinging a minnow and, you know, changed up the cadence, stuff like that, to where now they're being able to, now they have to use, you know, really past experience
for sure.
Hey, what is going to work and what's not. One other thing I want to bring up too was, have you noticed all the guys that are running Humminbird, how much they're looking down on their 360 and relying on that more?
Yeah, big time. Almost every single person I see fishing out there has a 360 in their boat. Go ahead, Pete.
Real quick, over on my Facebook, I forgot my thing went to private, so our comments are come through, but just want to say what's up, Jeff Horner. He said he's boat number 5, was boat 1 last year. Tim Triani, you moved over to, it looks like, YouTube. So what's up? Jeremy Remy, appreciate the kind words, man. We miss y'all too. What's up, Sydney? What's up, Jamie Williams? And Ken Wells. Yeah, First Sergeant Ken Wells.
First Sergeant Ken Wells.
He said, evening, gents. We're doing fine, sir. Anyway.
Yeah, for sure. Mental resiliency, knowledge, experience, waypoints, right? Remember, this year is a different rule for the Bassmaster Elite Series, just like it is the Opens, just like it is the NPFL. You know, they can get information up until like 30 days before official practice starts. You know, they I don't think they can go out. Well, I don't know. Anyways, so maybe that's playing a role, maybe not. Right. Who would have assumed that Guntersville would have had like 18 foot of ice from the bank out into the lake? You know, like doesn't really matter how much information you get at that point. If everybody gave you waypoints and you can't get to them,
well, they're probably under the ice.
You know, like everybody said, you can't catch another man's fish anyway.
Oh, that is such a fact, dude.
You can try all you want, but you know, we've said it, you know, numerous times. Me and you can be throwing the exact same thing. But working a little different.
Yep.
And you could be getting bit and I'm not doing nothing.
It's happened to me. It's happened to me a number of times with Pete. A number of times. Yes.
Oh yeah. Staying back and forth. You know, you took that mental resiliency that, you know, we talked about that. That was like those challenges were what we wanted to face last year, right? Like in our tournaments, because the year before everything went perfect. Never lost a fish that was important or that we needed. Never, we didn't not capitalize on an opportunity the year before. Last year, I mean, we lost fish. We had all those things you face, equipment struggles, just dead fish, anything you could want. So we always kind of do it, and I think it's a good time to talk about like what we're looking forward to in our team series. You've already talked about what you're looking for at the Opens, but I'll tell you, for me this year, what I'm looking like the biggest thing I'm looking forward like for us is execution.
Right.
We've had a great year. We learned a bunch last year through adversity, and now we need to execute on the stuff that we learned. So like that's what I'm excited to push for and hopefully go back out there and take that AOI one more time.
Yeah. Yeah. It really boils down to 2 things, really. Well, 3 things. It's decisions, execution, and confidence, right? Like confidence is like, man, you can throw a bait all day long like these guys are doing at Guntersville or like we did at the Opens. And if you're not confident that you're going to get bit, you're probably not going to get bit. You know what I mean? But if you're like, listen, I understand fish behavior. I understand seasonal patterns. I understand that all 876 guys are also fishing in this area. There's somebody's got to be onto something, you know, if you're just confident. And like I said, in the last Fishing Friday Live, man, like I watched water temperature. I watched it go up 3 degrees and I just made a 180 and said, hey,
you gotta trust your gut.
Yeah.
You got to trust your gut. And Trey and I talked about it last year. We didn't do it enough where like we knew something wasn't right and we thought we should change and we didn't, only to find out that we needed to make that change because that change is what other people had success in if we would have just done what our guts told us. But there were times we followed our gut and it paid off. You've just got to trust your instincts. You know, once you start into this tournament world, and anybody on here, if you've spent any time fishing, to Trey's point, you learn those seasonal patterns. You learn how fish should act in water temperature, but you also pick those instincts up. Most of us are old enough, have been around enough where we've learned to read the water. They always say that, but you don't really read the water, right? Like it's a lot more than that. You've got to use those instincts that you've learned, and you've got to listen to it. You got to shut that doc talk down. You've got to forget what was working yesterday if it's not working today. And if your gut's telling you need to do something, go do it.
Yeah.
And
you got to let the fish tell you what they want.
That's true.
You can't force a fish to eat.
Yeah.
You know,
I would never throw anything but a frog if I could force it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Mikey Nadu said, yep, trust the gut. I think that's what you're seeing here at the Bassmaster Elite Series on Lake Guntersville. I think you're seeing a lot of experienced anglers trust their gut. I think you're seeing some of the anglers that maybe relied a little bit too much on technology to eliminate that gut feeling. Maybe I could be dead ass wrong, but you know what? I relied on it, and it took me about 6 hours to trust my gut, you know, and a trolling motor breaking for that to happen honestly. And the more and more I think about it, I'm like, the more and more I relied on the technology over the last couple of years. So I need to get away from that, right? Because you're going to continue seeing these changes in these tournament formats. Maybe Soba will be a no Ford.
I think you had it
right back on.
Trey, we've got to break down your event. We talked a bunch when you're driving home and just different things, and it's nice to have somebody you can talk to about stuff off of. And I think we both learned from your experiences is trust your gut, not only tournament but practice. Like you knew you should have practiced the area you caught your fish in, but you didn't because you listened to what the Doc Talk was saying. The Doc Talk was saying you need to make this run. This is where the fish are. But you had fish where you wanted to practice and you didn't do it. But you just you've got to have the confidence to do that. We've all been doing it a long time, and it doesn't matter if you're fishing against 5 boats in a local club or 250 boats in an open. You know how to catch bass. You're just catching bass fish. Don't change nothing.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's right.
And you got to learn to work through that pressure and that decision making and stuff. So, I was breaking that down with you as a learning experience for me. I get to learn through you and the mistakes you've made. And
let me tell you this. I mean, Mike John said it, man. Brett Hite caught almost 18 pounds in the exact area that I started fishing the morning of of day one, and the fish were definitely there. We can talk about it on another episode. And we can get a lot more detailed in it and stuff. And the Kayak Bassmaster Series is down there right now. Hopefully those guys, Corey Dreyer, I think Corey's fishing it. Kissimmee Channel Lakes, I know it's still kind of cold down there, but you know what? This is open source stuff, so don't put a lipless crankbait down. And you don't really have to leave sight of the ramp. I'll tell you that. So
the kayak starts in the morning.
Yeah. So good luck to all you guys and gals down there. Corey, we hope you win it, brother. All right. So moving on, we got about 10 minutes left here. Another tournament circuit. We didn't really talk about too much about Dual Threat, but I didn't really know a whole lot about it.
Really still don't.
Cool.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean,
as far as I know, nobody's actually cashed one of their checks yet. Because apparently, did you hear there was drama around that? Heard.
Go figure.
So they handed out checks at the first event, like as you place, they gave you a check to go cash, and then they realized, well, they DQ'd somebody for something, so they had to readjust payments. So they called everybody, told them not to cash their checks. They went through all this. So I guess after the second one, they're mailing the checks. I have not heard if anybody's check is actually cashed, and that's my one question: is do they cash? But I think even cooler, the Dual Threat's super cool, right? No entry fee, looks great on paper. Let's make sure it works before, in my opinion, you give it a whole lot of attention. This Tournament of Champions thing, if you haven't been following it,
that's going to be awesome.
That is going to be awesome. The top 25 from the Elite Series versus the top 25 from BPT, like over $1 million in payout. I think first place is what, like
1.25
is first place. Is first place.
Yeah, 500,000 for second and 300,000 for third.
What's the official name of it?
I can't remember.
Champions.
Is that what they're calling it? The Tournament of Champions?
I believe so. Yes.
That is going to be.
So they have it's a total of like $3 million is what they're giving out.
That's going to be super cool.
Tournament of Champions.
It's something as a fishing fan that I think we've all been asking for a long time. Since maybe 2 or 3 years after the split, when all the back and forth started. Oh, the BPT guys are better. The Elite guys are better. Put them head to head. Look, man, most of the BPT guys got blue trophies in their trophy room, right?
Yeah.
The only ones that don't are the guys that decided to go that route after college instead of going to the Elites. But if you think for a minute Dustin Connell wouldn't have a blue trophy in his trophy room, or at least have a really good shot at one and compete in the Elites, you got another thing coming. Like, that dude can catch them, and I think he's proved that. Jacob Wheeler's got blue trophies. All the other big names got blue trophies. So it's the same sport, just in a different format. So it's going to be super cool to see that.
So
I'm
what they're doing, along with that 25 from each one, is they're taking the winners of each tournament too. So if you're outside of that top 25, but you win, whether in Elite Series or a BPT tournament, you're also
so there could be 31 Elite Series guys, right? Because
Yes.
there's not. Yeah, is that 31?
No,
No.
they got 9 tournaments.
So
So it'd be
34.
34.
Yep,
I mean,
34.
the likelihood of a winner not being in the top 25.
Yeah,
Yeah.
All 9 winners, so
yeah. That's really cool, man. Like I think we've talked about that just as fans of the sport for years. Like, man, make it the NFC AFC championship or or the true Super Bowl
Yeah.
of bass fishing, the Champions World Bass Championship, and that's going to take place where, Ben? Old Hickory
Old
Lake in-
Hickory.
in
Yeah.
Tennessee.
So if you
Sounds
catch
like
6
you're all
pounds, you're going to win that thing.
There's a good
No, so
chance.
my biggest question on that tournament isn't forward facing sonar. My biggest question is it a 5 fish limit or
Or-
every fish limit counts?
Yeah, yeah. I
That
don't
would
know.
be that. I believe that's going to be the big thing. Or is it going to be a mixture of the two?
Yeah,
Because I'll tell you what, and this is just my own personal opinion. The BPT guys, with doing every fish counts for so long, they've adjusted their strategy for that
Mm,
instead of just trying to find.
Yeah,
the
but you
big
know what? A
fish.
couple years ago, they did the all 5, and strategies changed during tournaments.
Yeah.
But like,
it didn't really change the leader.
it didn't really change
It
a lot of the
didn't change
leaderboard stuff.
anything.
So,
Jacob Wheeler
Wheeler's
won
still
AOI
down.
that
Yeah.
year.
oh,
Well,
is there
yes.
going to be an expo?
So
then?
there is an expo, but I believe it's going to be outside though.
Oh, so there was, I was looking at expos. There
Maybe
was
not, though.
There was
I-
another place that was outside. I'm like, I'm not having an outdoor. booth.
That is Red Crest is outside.
Is it
That's
really?
right. We
Yes.
were talking about, and I would not.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
nobody
Red
really
Crest
goes to that
outside.
anyway. so it'll be
Especially
fun.
in March in Missouri.
Yeah,
no,
that's
no.
Be freezing.
It's like
You
in the
better be
parking
serving
lot
hot cocoa.
of Bass
Do they
Pro.
have a
Yeah.
website set up yet? I can't find.
Yeah,
it
they do.
anywhere.
Yeah.
Ben's on it.
Worldbassenterprises.com. I was just
Oh,
looking
okay.
for.
Who's the money? That's what I.
So
wanna
I'm
know.
looking.
Who's-
Yeah, I was looking to see like about us, who founded it. Where's the like the business side of it? But
who we are. No.
I know they don't
No.
have a.
Probably some like Saudi investors or something.
Probably could.
Yeah.
Somebody finally found the
Oh,
Saudi
money
check.
pays, boys. Yeah, I think that's awesome, man. Good for them. Hopefully it's highly televised and highly marketed. That truly is something that I think is going to be fantastic. I think they kind of have a roster going on right now, don't they?
So
Yeah,
if you
they
go-
got like the live standings rolling. Yeah.
Yeah, so, but I don't think they updated the bass one.
No, just
Yeah, it's
BPT
not- it's
right
not.
now.
Yeah, it's not. They haven't updated it from the last event.
Well,
So
right now, Drew Gill is number 1. Jacob Walker, Jacob Wheeler, Zach Burge, Wesley Strader, MDJ, Chris Lane.
what's the date on it? Do they have this?
October.
Yeah, 20,
Yeah, 20 So that's
26th
practice
through
days.
27th is practice. 28th is a media day. 29th, 30th, 31st. So those 3 days are the championship. And then they're doing a pro-am, which will be cool. Top 15 anglers from the champions, influencers, and fans. So be interesting to see what that actually is. I'm looking forward to the rules coming out. I'd like to see to Nick's point what we're going to see from a rule standpoint.
Does that date conflict? I'm just wondering. It doesn't really matter, but does that date conflict with any of the Bassmaster EQs?
It could, but I don't think it's going to matter for any. If you qualified in the top 25 AOI, like you're not really. You don't
Yeah, I
need-
know
You
that
don't need to go to
lot-
EQs to requalify.
a lot of times those guys will drop. I don't know if they can drop down into the EQs, but a lot of those guys will drop down into opens just to win one to make the class.
So last year they could drop down because who were we talking to that fished the first one, and then he went fish and he won that $1 million, that big one.
Tucker Smith.
Tucker
Tucker Smith, yeah. So
Yeah.
Tucker, I think he fished that first EQ.
Yeah, and I know Emil Wagner won. Emil Wagner won. I think he won the last EQ up in Champlain or something. So that's what got John Cruz into the 2026 Classic. So
And
Jeff,
and then
yeah, go for
Fisher
it.
won the college,
yep.
right? The college one and college championship and got in, or was that a nation?
I don't remember which one he won.
Because he was
But-
the last one, I believe. To
I don't know if it
qualify in.
conflicts with the Bassmaster one, but
I don't think it will matter because if you qualify, if you're a top 25 in the AOI rankings, you don't need to drop down in the EQs to try to requalify.
Yeah.
So like, and the odds, there's better payouts for this other event. So why would you go down the EQs?
Yeah. So can you go to do you mind real quick? We got about 5 minutes left. I want to talk about this pro circuit. I think it's interesting. Drew Gill is sitting in second place with 3 fish for 21 pounds. Just shows you that they're catching.
Gracious.
He's got he was on
he's the only one catching like the big
yeah.
because Aaron Val,
Yeah, so he had an 8.3 was the big fish.
Oh,
for the
was
day.
it? Yeah.
well, that means his other ones were like 6 and 7.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
three
that's
fish for 20 something pounds. That's most people's.
That's a Jordan Lake Tuesday nighter bag,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah, right.
Can you scroll down? Is there anybody else in the top 10 that did not have 5 fish?
oh yeah,
No, in top 10 they all had
not
5.
top 10, but the fishing's
Tough.
it's tough right now
Tough.
because there's only 2 20-pound bags on the
Harris
Harris chain, and we know like it's still cold. It's just cold down in Florida.
Yeah.
And there
We're
is
all in the
one lake.
southeast.
There's one lake that's closed right now, and that's Griffin. I don't know why they
Oh.
got Griffin closed, but I do know that it is closed. Hopefully, by the time the MPFL goes there in the third week of March, it's open back up. They did fix the Apopka lock. It could still only fish or fit 3 people in there, but it's definitely fixed. Got to give a huge shout out to a buddy of ours, John Dial. He's sitting in, I think, in 41st place right now. If I'm not mistaken, where's he at? No, he's in 40 something.
47th.
47th. He had 4 fish for 7 pounds, 3 ounces. Tomorrow is the elimination for the top 50. But I will say this,
15 is
dude. Yeah, tough
Wow.
fishing, right? Where's Bakewell at? Bakewell,
Bobby
had a tough he had a tough event in the Kissimmee Chain of Lakes for Bassmaster Open Division 1. And I know it was rough for him. And then right now, yeah, it's showing he's 0 today. And now I don't know if he dumped his fish or not, but there was a lot of zeros on the Harris chain today. Let me tell you
He's
something
usually
right
not
now.
one to dump fish.
Let me tell you, he wouldn't dump them anyways.
especially in this tournament. Like
No.
Florida fishing in cold conditions, just because you sucked does not mean that you suck as an angler. So anybody that thinks your tournament results in Florida defines you as an angler, I don't care if I finished 110th or not. It was tough, dude. So if you landed on them, you landed on them like Cody Stahl did, like Drew Gill did, and stuff like that. But Florida can be a rough place to fish, especially right now.
Brent Zenson, he's part of Silva, but he is down there right now. They've been down there all week.
Rough.
And he said he woke up the other morning, it was 27 degrees
Yes.
outside.
oh yeah,
Cold.
well, like you, so like they canceled the Fayetteville show last weekend
Yeah.
because of the snow here. I was like, well, Trey's getting done. Like, maybe I run down to Florida. And I looked at the web. I was like, well, we ain't going to catch anything to make content down there anyway. It's too cold.
So I know where you can catch them right now. But you only need like 2 baits, really. You need a bladed jig and you need a lipless crankbait in this cold weather. And if you're targeting that like 4 to 8 foot range of offshore grass, you need to work that bladed jig really slow through the grass, and you need to yo-yo that lipless crankbait. Or if it starts to warm up, you need to burn that lipless crankbait and that bladed jig through the grass. It just depends on what it is. If it's the temperature's falling, slow the bait down. If it's rising, speed the bait up.
And if it's not against your rules, don't be afraid to throw an Alabama rig out there.
Oh,
Yeah.
1000%.
It works in that
Yeah.
Florida
And if-
grass.
And if you have forward-facing sonar and you're down in Florida, then you can hit them with a jerk bait. Because remember, when that water temperature starts increasing, it starts increasing from the top and then works its way
What's up,
down.
Pete
Those
Dubs?
fish will come off the bottom because a lot of times their bellies will be in the mud. They'll come off the bottom if you got forward-facing sonar, even if you don't, and they'll start getting right underneath the water surface so that they can heat up, and you can tag them pretty good with a jerk bait.
Yep. And I just Pete Dub says Panger, which is Backstock Live, interviewed the WBE guys. I don't think they talk about 5 fish or every fish, but they did talk about forward facing. Yeah, as Trey and them were talking, I just reached out to their media folks. So we're gonna try to get them all, man. Let's get them on
Yeah.
and talk about what they got going on over there, and bring them to some content to you guys around that. 'Cause
Sweet.
definitely interested to see what's going on and see how that's going to go. Yeah, it's going to be cool. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, me too. Well, listen, we're coming up on the better part of an hour here. Before we jump off, Nick, you're our special guest tonight. Is there anything that you wanted to let the crowd know about? Anything with Drop Zone Tackle? Anything with Carolina Waters?
Yeah. So with Carolina Waters, we have some specials going on. We got new hoodies and hats in. So you guys go on CarolinaWatersNC.com and check the stuff out there. And then with Drop Zone Tackle, we are we're making things happen.
Yeah.
We got some new product coming in. Stuff that'll yeah. You hear that rattle? It's the dinner bell.
Y'all can't see that.
But no, we'll be throughout the year. I'll probably wait until maybe May, sometime in there. That way I make sure I got plenty of everything. But we're going to be doing some special things. So one thing that we'll be doing, it'll be the same thing for SOBA and for Take a Warrior Fishing is we're going to take 1 month. We're going to give codes out. You can use the codes throughout the year. But the code for that specific month, we're going to take at the end of the month, we're going to look back and see what was sold, and a certain percentage of that is going to go back to the organizations.
Okay.
So we'll do that at least once a year, probably twice a year. Just a way for me to say thank you, and to try to help out, and just do what I can, for the different organizations. And also if there's other organizations out there, that would like to participate in this, contact me. Obviously I'll do my research on you and everything. I can't have, 50 a year, but if we can have, 4 or 5 a year, that we can do this for, I'm more than happy to give back.
Absolutely. Well, that just goes to show you that promotional staff is a good thing.
Yeah.
Right. So, very few companies give back to their promotional staff other than some discounts and stuff like that. So that's a cool thing that you're doing. Ben, before we jump off, anything from you?
Hold on. I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
David. I do have some stuff coming in 5X.
Yeah.
He said need fat guy gear, Nick.
Yeah. It says, get to the gym. That's what's written on it.
Damn.
Get to the gym, guys.
I mean, they make a pill for it now.
Oh,
Hey guys, you got start walking, work. Hey, you guys need to condition yourselves. Fishing is here now, right? So I'll tell you that, you need to try to do as best you can, eat healthy, get some steps in, stuff like that, because when you're out there fishing 8-10 in the summertime, sometimes 14 hours a day, like it's hard on your body.
Yeah.
You want to stay replenished. Make sure you're getting the proper amount of nutrition. Drinking water, Pete's dad. I'll call you out on that. Drinking water is a big thing. That way your feet don't swell up and you look like a balloon when you get off the water.
He has to pee some color of like mahogany brown after a day of fishing on the road.
Rich mahogany.
Oh, straight.
Look, you guys all know this. Especially as we come up in the spring, you get bundled up to begin with in the morning.
Yep.
Right. But you don't take your stuff off because you're fishing all day. It's like 75 degrees and you're still bundled up.
Yeah.
You're sweating all of it out. That's why that's the trick.
Yeah, for real.
It's a trick. You
So-
drink water, you sweat it out in your winter clothes and you're fine. You're good to go.
David gets a medium, Mikey said. He said, love you, David. No, we appreciate you guys. Pete, you got anything before we close this out?
No, I appreciate everybody tuning in tonight, man. Appreciate you filling in, Nick, and coming on the show as always, and the support will take Warrior Fishing. So hope everybody has a good evening.
Yeah, thanks guys so much. There's going to be an upcoming physical fitness test for everybody. You're going to need to run that 2 mile under 14 minutes. Just kidding. Appreciate you guys jumping on here. David Fuchs, we love you, bro. Love you guys up there in Jersey and all over the country and abroad. And thank you for helping us continue growing culture of anglers, helping anglers one cast at a time.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Oh God, it's a toad. Son. It's a toad, dude.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day.